This is the Best of the Schmidt Show podcast. Don't miss First News with Toby Howell and Rebecca Davis. Weekday mornings at 6 on Newsradio 1029 KARN.
Good afternoon. It is Newsradio 1029 KARN where you found us. My name is Brad Schmidt. This is the Schmidt Show. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. 501-403-KRN is the number, 501-403-5276. But again, you'll have to wait just a few moments as we have on the line with us Chris Powell, who is running for constable of Hill Township in Pulaski County. Chris, welcome to the show.
Good to be with you, Brad.
Hey, so I'm learning all kinds of things about Arkansas politics that I've moved here since I moved here back in January. I guess the first question is, what exactly does a constable do? I learned about justice of the peace, that we didn't have that back where I was from. We didn't have constables back where I was from. So tell us a little bit about what a constable is in the first place.
Right. Well, only a few states still have constables. The position of constable has existed since the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
But in Arkansas, it's a peace officer that's established in the state constitution. That is assigned to a township, which is a subdivision of a county, and they do have full police powers, just as like a sheriff would. They are not as well known about in Arkansas by a lot of people, but the position is still exists.
So is it basically a kind of a sheriff light kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess you could see it that way. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chris, Hill Township, I guess I live here since January. I didn't even know that Hill Township was a thing. Tell us what kind of hill, what it entails. It's north of the river, and what
yes,
does it encompass?
Everything in Pulaski County, north and east of the river. So, North Little Rock, Maumelle, Sherwood, Jacksonville, and then some of the smaller communities out in the county.
Okay.
North of the river. Pulaski County, unlike a lot of other counties, only has 2 townships. And so it's a pretty big district
right.
when you look at it.
Yeah, and the township doesn't mean it's not like a separate town. It's just it's a subdivision
it's just a
of the county.
Geographic subdivision, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. County, yes.
So tell us a little bit about the constable position and how you see it being an important part of law enforcement and what's going on in the Hill Township area.
Right. Well, I think a constable, can use this platform to speak out on issues of law and order and rising crime, and hold some of our other elected officials accountable. One reason I think constables aren't as well known in Arkansas is I believe some of the other elected officials have sort of pushed them to the side. They defunded the positions, and so it's you don't get paid. And so some of them have even had their buddies run for the spot and say, "Hey, don't do anything, just get elected and just sit there and we'll take care of everything else."
Okay.
And we end up with corrupt sheriffs that way, or corrupt politicians when it's a system works like that. So I feel like, if it's a position established in our Constitution, we need people to run for every position and to manage it responsibly.
Well, now, of course, you're, like you said, you're not being paid, so you're obviously not in it for the money. So, what makes you want to be the constable?
Right. Well, I see our country going in some crazy new directions lately. Everybody's witnessing it culturally, socially, economically, and we have crime just going everywhere. And we have a sheriff here in Pulaski County who has said on the record that he called himself a hug-a-thug sheriff. He said he cares more about the people in the detention center than he cares about his deputies. That's a direct quote.
Right.
And then we have a candidate for prosecuting attorney who's being funded by George Soros. Right. We don't need that in Pulaski County. We've got 3,000 probation and parole absconders just in Pulaski County alone. crime is not just limited to certain parts of town anymore. It's everywhere. And nobody's, speaking out on these policies and these that are making crime go up. We've got people who want to cancel bail and just let people out of jail who've been charged with violent crimes to just get out and keep doing what they're doing. And we have families who are scared in their neighborhoods. They've got people breaking in their cars in their driveway in the middle of the night.
Right.
And we need people to step up and do something finally in this country. Whatever the position is, school board on up.
Right.
And so constable is one of those positions that's, like I say, is not always very popular, but we need people everywhere in government that will speak out.
So my guest is Chris Powell. He's running for constable in Hill Township in Pulaski County, north and east of the river. And Chris, how do you see yourself working with whoever the sheriff is, whether it's Grogan or Blue Keller or if the current sheriff maintains his position? Sure. How do you see yourself working with them, and what do you intend to do to try and help deal with some of these crime issues?
Right. Well, I don't want to come in from just a position of conflict. I'm the spokesperson for the state Capitol Police here at the Capitol in my day job, and for the Secretary of State. My grandfather was a police officer, so I respect law enforcement, and I want to bring my experience, my skills to the table, and I would be glad to work with any of those agencies in Pulaski County to do what I can to make it a joint effort, or work with neighborhood associations or, civic organizations and things like that. And I really want to get, hear what the people have to say. I'm not here to come in and just say, well, I know everything that needs to be fixed. We have thousands of people with neighborhood associations, civic groups that talk about a lot of their concerns, in monthly meetings and Facebook groups and things like that. And, I want to come in and listen to those groups and say, here's what the people are saying. Here's the concerns they have. How can we help put their minds at ease?
So I guess the last question that I've got for you then, Chris, is this, do you see yourself working, you mentioned, some of the civil organizations, do you see yourself helping, maybe develop, neighborhood watches and things like that, or is that maybe beyond the purview of a constable's responsibility?
No, I think that's important. There are a number of neighborhood watch and crime watch organizations throughout Pulaski County already, and some are very active, and I think other neighborhoods, if they are interested in doing that, I know in Sherwood, the police department there runs their neighborhood watch Facebook page, and I'd be happy to talk to anyone about that. And I see an importance of that because, they say when seconds count, the police are only minutes away.
Right,
We have to, people, have to be able to defend their own neighborhoods and their own homes and their own families when it comes down to it. So I think that's important. I'm very pro Second Amendment, pro property rights, things like that. And I really think could make a difference.
Awesome. Well, Chris, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. I've been trying to get as many of these kind of interviews in before as possible as we can before the primaries on Tuesday next week. And so, Chris, thank you for taking the time, and I wish you the best of luck. We'll see how it turns out next week.
All right. Thank you much.
Thank you. That's Chris Powell. He is running for constable of Hill Township. Like I say, everything north and east of the river. The Schmidt Show continues next right here on KARN.